of the fourth World QuickTake. I'm here with my co-host Nicholas Todd. Hey, Billy, how you doing today?
Doing good, bro.
Okay, today we are talking about CNN once again. CNN with this racist and Native American stuff. Like, you think CNN's supposed to be a Democratic, and but I think this guy's Republican, so they kind of had on an opposition, and his views on Native Americans aren't the best. So we'll take a listen, and then we'll get our perspective.
That was mostly from Europe, and they set up a country that was based on Judeo-Christian principles. I say Judeo-Christian, the Mosaic Laws, Ten Commandments, and the teachings of Jesus Christ, the moral and teachings of Jesus Christ. That's what our founding documents are based on. It's in our DNA. You know, if you think of other countries like Italy and Greece and China and Turkey and places like that, they've all sort of changed over time. I mean, they've been there for millennia in many cases, and their culture has sort of evolved over time. But not us. We came here and created a blank slate. We birthed a nation from nothing. I mean, there's nothing here. I mean, yes, we have Native Americans, but candidly, that there isn't much Native American culture in American culture.
Okay, so that was the big statement. There's not a lot of Native American culture in American culture. What are your thoughts about this?
Gee, I fucking wonder why. Bro, like, honestly, dude, it's just like, you go and you fucking... I'm sorry for my language, but this topic upsets me.
Yeah.
It's just like, why are you gonna... Oh, my God. There's just like, you come to a new land... that's already founded. You say you found a new land, but we were already here, bro. Like millions and millions of Native Americans were already on this country, and you go and say there was nothing here. None of Native American culture is an American culture. Yeah, because you killed us all, bro. You like hunted us down. You thought we're savages, and then you go and put us on a reservation, bro. I don't know, man. That ticks me off.
So obviously, like the big problem in today's society is that a lot of people don't know the history of Native Americans. It's not been taught. It wasn't taught in school. And a lot of people think that we're not here anymore. Just like this guy clearly stated that there was nothing here before the Europeans came, which is completely false. Like we have those one of those T-shirts that like Columbus didn't discover America. Columbus didn't discover Native Americans. Native Americans discovered Columbus. But like, it's just. When you see people speak like this, it's hard not to get angry at it, because our culture means so much to us and brought us so much happiness, and creates family. And these European cultures and Christianity, like, they think they're the saviors, but yet they massacred so many millions of Native Americans in the name of their Jesus Christ.
Honestly, dude, it's just like how he just literally just pushed us off the table. You guys are nothing. Yeah. That's pretty much what he says. Like, oh yeah, you guys are here, acknowledge us, but you're worth nothing to us. American culture, what we see as America, nah, screw that. You Native Americans aren't anything to us, man. And that's one thing I'm just like, dude, we are here. Understand, everyone out there, we're here still, and let that be known. And that's what I'm saying. Like, these guys assimilated us. They massacred us. They put us through boarding schools to where they try to wipe out our culture. They couldn't wipe us out, so they tried to wipe away our culture. They made our ceremonies illegal. They put us on reservations. They gave us drugs. They gave us alcohol just so we
smallpox,
everything, just so we could lose our way of life, to find ways to assimilate us. And that's one thing, is just like, dude, of course there's no Native American history because all your founding fathers were racist as hell. Yeah. I want to let you know that, man.
Yeah, like, that's why it's so hard for us to be in social media and then have our voice. It's like we're not well respected, and it's in all of culture. Like, we're below people, like we're below society in a way. And they just think of the casinos, they think of alcoholics and like diabetes or whatever. And to us, like, those are family. Those are our family members. We care about them. We care about our people. We want to help our nation. And it's like there's just so many things to tackle, and there's so many things we want to fight. We just don't know where to start. Like, we have a lot of people on social media like think that they're making a change just by reposting things, but you got to go out there and make a voice. And in my opinion, like, the only change that's going to happen is if we like have big businesses and we empower our people through that. Right now, there's no opportunities on the res, but how do we get opportunities? You got to have a business. there's so many things wrong, but typically we just need to. We can't wait for the government to bail us out. We need to help ourselves. We need to empower our people. We need to find them resources. We need to find them opportunities.
That's one thing I really love about like right now, bro. Yeah. Is like our people are starting to make a difference in this world. You see Deb Haaland being in Department of Interior. You see my auntie in the Department of Economic or Department of Energy. You see all these other Native American influential people being able to make office into this country to where they can introduce some of our culture, not really our culture, but our ideals as people. Because that's one thing you mentioned before is our people take care of the land. We were not the founders, but we took care of the land. We were the protectors of this land. We gave offerings. We prayed to every little thing on this earth that holds sacred teachings to us. Everything on this earth has a story and a teaching to where it empowers us. It gives us strength, and in turn, we give it back to them by protecting it. Now, what these people did, just knocked us all out and just took us out and everything. And that's one thing I'm just like, it took them like 200-300 years of this country being founded for them to actually start to recognize Native Americans.
Yeah, and in today's society, everything's rigged towards there is a white privilege. Like, like when we talk about this pod and I post on like other social medias, like people get mad. The white privilege get mad because we be speaking facts, and you just like they have the opportunity to talk about us in this light. And once we start doing it back, it's unfair. It's not factual. We are soft. We're millennials. We're Gen Z. Like whatever. They'll use any word to describe us in a bad light,
to belittle us.
Yeah,
and that's one thing that they don't. They have a picture image of Native Americans: drunk alcoholics, drug addicts, poor, casino, and they're just low life, lower than dirt. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing that this country has institutionalized in the people is like, oh yeah, this is who these Native Americans are. This is how you should see them. I'm pretty sure about good 80 to 90% of the whole United States pictures us like that. Now, that's one thing that you said before is our generations have to paint a new light. And that's one thing, like when we bring light to this stuff, people don't like looking at the history. People don't like looking at the modern day stuff that happens to us. They say, oh, that wasn't my generation. I didn't do that stuff. Dude, this stuff is still happening today. It's still, dude, like that dude is like, to this day.
No, it wasn't Dante Wilder. To this day. Like, you think about slavery, slaves, like, it was only 100 years ago. And the white privilege thing, it's not a big deal. Like, smallpox was 100 years ago. Trail of Tears was like 150 years ago. And yeah, it's like they play it off as not a big deal. And it's like it's in the past. Like, that doesn't affect you now. Yes, it does.
Honestly, because that's one thing that like there's Trail of Tears and everything that we have to. It goes up to even 30, 40 years ago, bro.
Wounded Knee.
The Wounded Knee and Wounded Knee occupation that happened in 1970s, bro. When we were fighting for our rights, that happened just 40 years ago, man, or 50 years ago now.
Even like the Dakota Access Pipeline, that's like a couple years ago. It's still bad, and yet, like people. And like like all these things, like we read about Rodney King, and then now we have our own Rodney King and George Floyd, and now that whole trial's going on, and they say that he was on drugs, he was resisting arrest, all these other things. He didn't die of suffocation, he died from heart failure. And nowhere in the trial they didn't talk about the knee on the neck, just like in and Dakota Access Pipeline. They didn't talk about our water rights. They talk about the money. They talk about how many jobs there is. No, you're killing Native Americans, and it's plain as day.
They didn't talk about like the dogs being sent after people, the private security, them sending FBI agents into the camps, them tying the pins on the gas canisters to where they explode to where a woman got her arm blown off by our own police force up there. They don't talk about that stuff. Oh, but they paint the image like, oh yeah, Native American is shooting a bow at a helicopter. Motherfucker, that was a stick. They're talking about like, oh, this Native American had a revolver in her hand. She was trying to shoot cops. Yeah, they crop out the image, but on the other side, she's holding a prayer stick, bro. It's crazy how people can misstrued what is actual truth in all this stuff, and how they just literally wipe us out. Like we're nothing. We're gonna continue on with all our stuff because we've been doing this for the past 200-300 years, bro. We've been like killing off a few people, so let's just keep doing it today because no one's gonna give a shit about us. That's their mentality when it comes to this stuff, but they don't know that our people are rising up.
Yeah,
we are, and I can see it. You can see it, bro. We're starting to make waves into this ocean of the United States, and that's one thing I freaking love, man. Ugh.
Like we said, we just got to keep fighting. We can't fight amongst each other. We just got to all band together. We got to use our voices. We got to get this shared. The internet's a power to us. We got to use it as a tool. We can't look down upon it. And you think about it, like we said, like a lot of people will say they don't see color, they don't see racism, but behind closed doors, they're doing activities to belittle people. Like if you think about the 2008 housing crisis, the whole market, most of the people that lost their homes were African American. Mm-hmm. They targeted them for bad loans, which is like, and then they say like, I don't know, it's just all messed up. And everything, like once you look behind what they're saying in the media, you dig deeper, everything makes sense. Everything starts to make sense.
Like don't actually do the research and do the facts, and just like, I don't know, man. It's just Native Americans aren't the only ones that are dealing with this. African Americans, Mexicans, and now there's a lot of Chinese hate.
That's Asians, Asian with the swine flu or with the coronavirus.
There's a lot of Asian hate out there, man. Like, why are you gonna hate on people that had nothing to do with this? And that's what I'm saying. Like, this is where you have to look at the facts. And you could, like I said before in past topics, you cannot fix a problem if you don't acknowledge there's a problem. Yeah. Yes, there is a problem. Stop trying to hide it and live in your reality of just because everything's good for you, you expect everything to be good for everyone else.
Yeah, like I'm tired of seeing like police brutality, and it just happens so often. And they just say it's a few bad apples, but like it happens like almost every other day. Or school shootings. Mm-hmm. And it's like it's a few bad apples, but it's like all these kids